Yes, friends. So today I am taking now prediction number 9. Okay, this is prediction number 9. Prediction number 9. Okay, Vedic astrology, as I always talk about. Now in this prediction number. Now, as I always tell you, that this is not prediction, because this is post prediction. We are discussing about the basic fundamentals, how to predict about the past events or any event which is going to happen in future. So, okay, prediction can be done on the basis of the past incidences or incidents on which we can discuss about the events which have occurred in the past and what are the conditions were prevalent in those days. On the basis of those conditions or those factors or those fundamentals or those tricks, we can just predict about next near future or any event which is going to happen in the future. So prediction can be done on the basis of some fundamentals, some basics. Those basics I'm taking, basics of Vedic astrology I'm just talking about, and those basics we have already discussed about some of them. And these basics, now this prediction is mostly based on, there are three basic factors, as I always tell you about. What are those three basic factors? First basic factor is in any person's what you call horoscope, birth horoscope. Now in the birth horoscope, as I have already discussed about number of factors and this and that, as I always tell that there is requirement of three factors, three basic data. What is that basic data? Time of birth must be exact one, accurate one. Okay, only then we can frame a very or cast a very a good horoscope or the correct horoscope. Otherwise, prediction can be wrong. Okay, because as I always tell you that this is the Parabhigyan or Vedic science is okay. This is Vedic astrology is Parabhigyan or science beyond science, you can say. Okay, or okay, so Parabhigyan is the science which is beyond science, which is 100% science. Reason is it is based on longitude, latitudes of the planets. Astronomical factors are must for predicting astrology. So Vedic astrology is based on fundamentals of astronomy. So okay, so astronomical facts which are longitude, latitude of the planets. And as I always tell you that the life on the earth is possible, or earth or life on any planet is possible if there is circumstances or conjunctions of planet in such a manner so that the attraction and what you call the conjunction of planets and this, okay, or the conditions of the planets is such that they are favorable to the people living on any planet. Okay, so similarly on the earth, life is possible because of the prevailing conditions of the planets. Why life is not on the moon? The moon is because it's not having that kind of that kind of basic favorable conditions of the planets. Because life is not possible. Because some people say that what is Vedic astrology, this and that and that. Okay, so those people do not believe. We cannot force them to believe because they are just not aware about all these factors, right? And I have gone through all these type of predictions, which were 100% true. There was nobody knowing about life of a person, but life of the person is predicted before me. My life was also predicted without any basis. First my time was changed, okay, exactly time changed, and after that they started predicting from the reading the Vedic astrology, the Brahma Samhita, they say. Okay, so from the Brahma Samhita, whatever prediction was there, my life was 100% okay, prediction or correctly predicted. Okay, so most of the foreigners are believing, British people believe, Americans believe, number of Russian people believe, most of the people from the advanced countries now they are believing. Okay, and since 1942, as I have told you, that in 1942 Simon Commission came here in India, and one of the members of the Simon Commission, Sir Budrovite, was initially not believing, but when his predictions went 100% correct in his life, after that he started believing. And he has written in his biography, and that biography of his was presented in the Supreme Court of India, just to show that how these Britishers can believe. Okay, then why this Indian universities cannot teach Vedic astrology. Okay, so astrology can be started as a course in universities in India, can be taught in Indian universities, because some people who were from left leaning, as I always tell you that there are three kinds of people in India. First is imperialistic people. they still believe in Britishers or British culture and this and that. They are so much fanatic of British people, British culture. Okay, or they are known as imperialistic historians. Some people are also believing in British culture. As I have come to know about, there was one of the persons who was so much, crazy about the Britishers. He went to England. He stayed for his whole life in London, and when he died, he was not given a space to buried him in London. He just came back to Calcutta, and he was then buried there. So those people who are just fanatic to that culture, but they are not allowing them. They have the race, what you call racialism, or this is racism. They are following. So they are not allowing those people who are from India and this and this. But some Indians still believe that there was a lot of things in British people, this and that. Okay, so they just say that because of Britishers only, the life started in India and this and that. Okay, the culture started in India, but they are just not understanding, because Britishers started to fool Indians. They changed the culture of India. They tried to prove that everything happened in India is just myth or mythology. They were just started. Okay, so all those things now have been proved wrong. They are 100% true. Okay, they didn't believe that Saraswati is a river in India. Okay, now Saraswati, sources of Saraswati has been discovered. Okay, so that has been proved. All those things, all those incidents have happened, and they started narrating their story of Aryan theory and this and this. Now Aryan theory is proved to be wrong. Okay, so all these things, all those people, they always try to divide India, or they started to divide India, but still some Indians are there who are just known as imperialist historians. So as I always tell you, that there are three kinds of historians. Imperialist historians, they believe in the foreign invaders, either they are Britishers or Mughals and all those people, they still believe in them. So that they are known as imperialist historians. Second type, left-leaning historians or Nehru brand historians. Because Nehru has also narrated a lot of things which are just praising or appreciating the Britishers and this and that. Okay, so foreigners are being appreciated by those people. So left-leaning historians. And the third kind, which is known as nationalist historians. They believe in Indian culture. They are excavating everything. Archaeological department is so much active nowadays. Okay, and they are proving everything. Okay, so whatever the things are there. So these things, I always tell you that now everything has been proved or is going to be proved. Still some things are there which are, so now people are just believing that yes, Vedic culture is there. There are, Vedic culture is just still there. Vedic culture is having a lot of things. Science is there in Vedas. Okay, so Vedic culture or Vedic astrology is also starting. People were not believing, and most of the people believing. Okay, since time immemorial, Vedic astrology has proved to be science or is 100% true. But still some people are there. They are fanatics. They are not believing that because they are not tried it. They are not not studied it. They do not believe because they are having some other kind of things or their mind, or they have some basic anti-Indian culture or whatever. They have the idea of anti-Indian culture type. Because of that they can't believe. So we are not going to force them. Now come to the point. So this incident, today's incident I'm talking about, I'm just discussing about past events. As I've told you, what are the basic factors which we have to know about, or which one astrologer has to understand, that how to predict anything, so that one person can predict about any incident in his future life or in going to happen, any life or any event which is going to happen in future life can be predicted 100% true. Okay, or basics, fundamentals. So all those fundamentals are just talk about everything, and I'm taking some basics here and there. So I always talk about basics and this and that. I'm always repeating those. Sometimes I can repeat them because they are very important things. Now here the basic thing, as I always tell, there are three basic things required to predict a horoscope of a person. First thing is, there are certain promises in a person's horoscope. If a person's horoscope is very much a strong one, the person will be just after narrating some incidents of his life, of events of his life, one can just check whether that horoscope given to them, data given to that person or given to us, the astrologer, are correct or not correct. So after narrating some incidents of his life, a person can be Okay, can be believed that yes, your data is correct, 100% true, and after that one can predict about his one's life, right? This is one of the things that promises in one's horoscope. So promises just like fixed assets. Okay, so fixed assets which are, we say, frozen assets or fixed assets which are there in our possession, okay, or in any person who is having that horoscope. Okay, whatever promises are given in his horoscope, that person is having that fixed assets. Now this fixed assets can be started, okay, can be given direction, or can be taken out from the hidden space or something. I mean, those promises which are given in one's horoscope can be taken out by the star system. Suppose the star system, the person's period has come, or that period of that particular planet which is running that at that moment is there. Okay, so those promises which are going to be fulfilled in one's life, for that the Dasa period is not found in Western astrology. Because of that, they cannot predict 100% true, right? But Vedic astrology is having this Dasa system. Dasa system is 100% true, and we predict with the help of moon's position. So there are, they say, there are three lagnas or something. Three lagnas means we see with the help of sun as a lagna, ascendant as a lagna, okay, or lagna as the ascendant, sun and moon's position. So these three lagnas are considered. So position of these three things. First is ascendant. Ascendant means lagna. As I have taken here ascendant 10th sign as ascendant. Okay, here is also 10th sign, because this is Indian horoscope. Or Baramir used to take this Makar Rasi or Capricorn sign in the lagna or in the ascendant. This is the ascendant here, ascendant lagna. So first house, which is known as ascendant or lagna. Okay, so this lagna system, taking this as the first house. So considering this first house or lagna, okay, we can predict, or the prediction can be done. This is one ascendant, one lagna. Okay, this is one ascendant. Second is moon's position. With the help of moon's position, because Vedic astrology is mostly based on moon's position. Because in Rig Veda it has been said that moon is considered as a measurement of time. Okay, so measurement of time period is moon's position. Moon's position, for example, in this is, I have taken, what are these horoscopes are framed here. So these four horoscopes, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have taken here. Why? Because in Chaura incident, or when non-cooperation movement is started, this is non-cooperation movement. Yeah, non-cooperation movement, right? So this event happened on, or started on, or launched on particular day. What was that particular day? This particular day was 5th of September. 5th of September in Calcutta, conference of Congress. Okay, this was started by Mahatma Gandhi, okay, or M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. This is M.K. Gandhi's or Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi's horoscope, Mahatma Gandhi's horoscope. This I have taken here. Okay, so I talk about on the basis of this horoscope that how this horoscope is, okay, is promising, having promises regarding this this launched, okay, movement, this launched movement of non-cooperation movement, how it was started on that particular day, what are the conditions of the planets, transit of the planets. Okay, Dasa system I have not taken at the moment, because when I'll take Mahatma Gandhi's horoscope someday, I'll take, because this is so much vivid. People have talked about this and that, some events of his life has been appreciated, this and that. But the true astrologer is that, as I consider, that whosoever the person is there, his if and buts are to be narrated. Whatever his if and buts are there, negative points, positive point, everything of a person's life should be, I mean, told about, should be said about, should be predicted about. Only then the person can really predicting about one's life. Okay, but some people take anybody, whosoever historian has become, or history person has become in the history of India, and that person's horoscope is being appreciated, even if there are that kind of promises are not there. But I have found that most of the people who have talked about Mahatma Gandhi's horoscope, they are talking about a lot of things which are not possible in this horoscope or the horoscope of Mahatma Gandhi, right? and I'll take some negative ones also. What are those negative ones I'll talk about? That what the conditions prevalent in Mahatma Gandhi's horoscope, which were not favorable to him, favorable to his personality. Was first is house, is the Lagna is movable sign. Seventh sign, which is Libra sign. Seventh sign, which is Libra sign, which is known as movable sign. And whenever movable sign, or most of the planets are presented in movable sign, right? Rahu, Ketu, Moon is also in movable sign, right? And Mars, Mercury, Venus, these three planets are also in movable signs. Okay, and Jupiter is also in movable sign, even if Jupiter is retrograded. So Jupiter is also on, except Saturn. Saturn is in fixed sign. Okay, in the 8th sign, Scorpio sign, and yeah, Sun is also, but Sun is dual sign. Dual sign is when dual sign is considered. Dual sign is having movable properties and fixed sign properties. That is known as dual sign. So here, dual sign is there. So movable sign, dual sign, fixed sign. Okay, these three signs are there. So Sun is in dual sign, Saturn is in fixed sign, but most of the other planets are in movable signs. Mahatma Gandhi's horoscope is having most of the planets present in movable sign. His Lagna is also movable sign. Libra sign is movable sign. Movable means the person's position is not so much a determined one. Sometimes going disward, sometimes going downward, upward, this and that. Sometimes promising, sometimes not promising. Promise is being taken back. And this kind of incident happened here in case of this, okay, this non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement was started in 1920, right? 1920, I've taken time here. 5th September 1920, right? 5th September 1920. And this was in Calcutta. This non-cooperation movement was launched on 5th of September in Calcutta. In Calcutta conference of Congress and this and that. Okay, so in that conference or that Congress meeting, this movement was started. This movement, non-cooperation movement, was launched. Okay, on that 5th of September. So what are the conditions of planets? What the moon's position? As I always tell that in any person's horoscope, the position of moon is very, very important. Any event which is going to happen in one's life, okay, negative, positive, that depends upon a person's moon's position. Because if moon is not powerful, as most of the astrologers or rishis, maharshis have said, that if moon is not strong, the person cannot take decisions, cannot take, any any problem cannot be solved by him, cannot take steps to solve any problem, cannot take steps to launch any program, okay, or cannot do anything if the moon's position is not strong. If moon is very strong in one's life, or in one's horoscope, then person is very much deterministic, very much determined. He can take decision, okay, or is very favorable. Moon's position is very favorable. Moon is very strong in one's horoscope. Then person is very strong personality, or having very strong personality, and he can take bold decisions. Bold decisions can be taken by a person if he is very much, his moon's position is very strong. Moon's condition is very strong, moon's position is very strong, moon is exalted, moon is in own sign, moon is in one of the good houses, right? Kendraj or Trikonas. Trikonas is 5th sign, 5th house, 9th house, and Lagna, ascendant. Ascendant is Lagna or first house. First house is known as Trikona, as well as central position or Kendra position. Central position 1, 2, 3, 4. First house, 4th house, 7th house, and 10th house. These are known as Kendra's position, central position of the planets. Okay, or 4 pillars of the horoscope, we say. So these 4 houses, 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th. They are known as 4 pillars of the horoscope. If they are very strong, most of the planets are posited in these 4 houses, then horoscope of a person is very much strong. The person's personality will be very strong. Okay, so this is what the person's personality is being defined with the help of horoscope. Just by seeing or just visualizing the position of the planets in one's horoscope, a person's personality can be very much easily recognized, can easily predicted about that this person will have this kind of personality. Okay, this is what horoscope or prediction of any horoscope is there. Because as I have found that there are number of people, okay, and they are just commenting the what do you call in social media these days. They say that what is this astrology? We do not believe in astrology, this and that. Okay, I was just watching one person's interview and he was giving that, he was just talking about that what is astrology, this and that. Okay, but that person's mind is just having some anti-Indian okay sentiments on this and that, because that person belonging to one enemical country. Okay, that person is not believing in astrology. So are we going to force that person? Okay, if he is not studying, not knowing about astrology, Indian Vedic astrology, then that person is not having that kind of knowledge. So why we are going to force him? So anybody who doesn't believe in astrology, Vedic astrology, we are not going to force him. That is up to him, because he is lack of that knowledge. He is not having that kind of vast his mind is not so broadened one. His horizon of mind is just limited one. He is not going to study about, because he has not come to know about the facts of astrology, right? Vedic astrology. So Vedic astrology is mostly since time memorial is 100% true, recognized by the people, and I have a lot of collection of all those people's life, prediction of life, okay, and how they predicted, what are the conditions of those people, and okay, from foreign travelers and this and that, number of people, okay, number of even Mughal rulers, they have number of predictions of their life, and they just awarded those people, those astrologers. And okay, in Swan Mitraj and all those, they balance those astrologers, they quote astrologers in golden coins, and golden coins were finally distributed among the poor, okay, by that astrologer. This kind of event I have already talked about, so I am not going to prove that Vedic astrology is true or not true. That is a person's okay belief, or he is going to have prediction of his life. If his prediction of his life is 100% true, going to predict it if his data is correct, or data given by him are correct. Okay, data are correct, his life will be predicted 100% true. There is no doubt about this. Okay, Vedic astrology is true. Now come to the main point. So what is non-cooperation movement? When it was started, as I have just told you, that non-cooperation movement was started was launched on 5th of September 1920. Okay, so it started. The reason was that Mahatma Gandhi just thought about, and what was the condition of moon on that particular day. You will be surprised that moon's position, moon was in Rohini Nakshatra, and Rohini Nakshatra is the moon's own nakshatra. Whenever moon, sun, Jupiter and Mars, they come in their own nakshatras, then some positive incident or some what you call national event which is very positive, which is going to favor the nation, which is going to give some positive incidents or positive, thinking to the people's mind, positive thoughts to the people's mind. That kind of event can happen in one's life. As Jupiter is in own nakshatras, moon is in own nakshatra, right? Sun is in own nakshatra, okay, and Mars is also in own nakshatra. These four planets are known as Deva group or Devganaj, or they are known as God's group. Okay, godly planets they are known as Moon, Sun, Jupiter, and Mars. Okay, these four are friends, and they are known as God's group. While Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, even Ketu is taken in other group. In Mars group, but Rahu, Saturn, Venus, and Mercury. Mercury is having both the roles. Mercury's position with any planet, whatever planet is the stronger one, that Mercury gives the result according to that planet with which it is positive, or with which it is conjunct. Conjunction of Mercury with any planet will give the result of that planet's type. Okay, that planet, if it is stronger, Mercury support that planet. So that is another thing we will talk about. Okay, so when these four planets are based in their own nakshatras, they are very positive one. then mostly some favorable things, positive thing to India, positive thing to one's country, one's what do you call, culture, one's nation, one's patriotism, or one's favorable. I mean, whatever positive thing is going to happen in one's country, that kind of event will happen in one's life. Even in a person's life is also being that event will be very favorable one, right? So this event happened when moon was on that particular day was in Rohini Nakshatra. Rohini Nakshatra is the fourth Nakshatra, Ashwini, Bharani, Kartika, Rohini. Rohini is the fourth Nakshatra. First is considered Ashwini Nakshatra. The lord of Ashwini Nakshatra is Ketu, but moon is the Nakshatra of Rohini. So Rohini Nakshatra was, okay, moon was in his own Nakshatra, or moon was in her own Nakshatra, which was Rohini Nakshatra. Rohini Nakshatra, moon when is there, some positive thinking in Rohini Nakshatra when moon is there. The person is having very much capable things. He understands what are the weakness or good points or weak points of the enemy. Okay, so Mahatma Gandhi thought about, or he was very much understanding that what are the weak points of the Britishers in those days, because the First World War ended in 1918. Okay, and after that, in 1919, 13th April 1919, that Jallianwala massacre happened. Okay, after that, there was a lot of uproar in India. People were so much angry with Britishers, and because of that, this this prevalent movement was understood by Mahatma Gandhi, and he started this movement on 5th of September 1920. Okay, so just after these two incidents of Jallianwala massacre, okay, Rowlatt Act also was failed. So Rowlatt Act and this massacre of Jallianwala massacre, and before that, Britishers were very much weakened. Weakened region was after First World War, which was ended in 1918. Okay, so after that, Britishers were felt to be very weaker one, or they were very weak in those days. But after that, Indians realized that if we start this kind of movement, non-cooperation movement, that nobody will cooperate with Britishers in India. Okay, so this incident happened on this particular. So I'm just talking about that how moon's position in his own nakshatra gave the positive thinking or thoughtful idea into Mahatma Gandhi's mind or other people's mind, because moon on that particular day was in its own nakshatra, and as I have told you that moon always remains in one nakshatra, okay, or in one sign for 2.5 of day, okay, for 2 days, 2 days and 1/4 day, 2 and 1/4 day, okay, in one house it remains, and in one nakshatra it is just in Rohini Nakshatra it was for moon was in that particular day, on that particular day in Rohini Nakshatra, and Rohini Nakshatra is lorded by moon itself. Okay, moon was very positive, mind was full of all that patriotism and this and that. Okay, so the positive thinking came into the mind of Mahatma Gandhi, and because of that, this incident was started. This was very favorable movement, because after this cooperation movement was started in 1920, for 1 year up to 1921, lot of strikes and this and that, nothing was happening. Courts were closed, okay, courts were shut, schools or colleges were shut, nobody was cooperating with Britishers, and Britishers were so much, not they were anguished also, they were just thinking something else, that what should be done at the moment. So the reason was, and Indians were so much angry with the Britishers, the reason was that they were not paying attention towards Indians' demand. Okay, and in this these 2 years, a lot of things happened, number of incidents happened. Okay, most of the courts were, lawyers were not participating, lawyers were not supporting the Britishers, and Britishers were being avoided here and there. So a lot of non-cooperation movement was so much healthier one, so much positive one. It was just supporting the Indians' mind, Indians' activities, or Indians were being so much the all over India people were so much supporting Mahatma Gandhi, because the reason was this was very good movement, and Indians were thinking that Britishers now will leave India. Okay, because of that movement only, Indians now will be saved because of Britishers or foreigners rule, right? They were thinking like this, but in 1922 on 4th of September. This is 4th of September. I've taken here. Sorry, 4th of February. 4th of February 1922. Okay, this one incident, Chauri Chaura, this one is Chauri Chaura.